In 1162, a baby was born on the Mongolian steppe, holding a blood clot in his fist. 60 years later, he ruled the largest contiguous empire in human history. This is how it happened. His name was Temujin. His father was poisoned when he was 9 years old. His family was abandoned on the steppe to starve. He was enslaved as a teenager. He survived all of it. And then he did something no one had ever done. He united every Mongol tribe under one banner. In 1206, the tribal chiefs gathered and gave him a new name: Genghis Khan, universal ruler. Before we watch the empire expand, you need to understand why the Mongols were nearly impossible to stop. Their cavalry moved 3 times faster than any European army. They used a communication network called the Yam, relay stations across the steppe that carried messages 300 kilometers in a single day. They absorbed Chinese siege technology, Persian engineering, Turkish tactics, and their psychological warfare was calculated and ruthless. Cities that surrendered were spared. Cities that resisted were erased. 1211. Genghis Khan turns east. The Jin dynasty controlled northern China, one of the most powerful states on earth, protected behind the Great Wall. The Mongols had never fought this kind of war before. It didn't matter. By 1215, Beijing had fallen. By 1234, the Jin dynasty was gone. The map changed forever. While China was burning, Genghis Khan turned west. The Khwarezmian Empire was the dominant Islamic superpower of the era. Its Shah made one catastrophic mistake. He executed Mongol trade ambassadors. Genghis Khan's response was methodical and total. In 4 years, cities that had stood for 1,000 years, Samarkand, Merv, Nishapur, were reduced to rubble. Historians estimate 15 to 20 million people died. Some of those cities never fully recovered. 1227. Genghis Khan died. The cause is still debated by historians. He was 65 years old. But his empire did not collapse. It was inherited by his sons and grandsons, divided into 4 khanates, each a massive empire in its own right. The Yuan dynasty in China, the Ilkhanate in Persia, the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia, the Golden Horde in Russia. Together, they still controlled more land than any empire that had ever existed. Most people don't know this part. In 1241, Mongol forces invaded Europe. They destroyed Poland. They destroyed Hungary. They defeated every army sent against them, including the Knights of Silesia and the armies of Bohemia. They were 60 miles from Vienna, and then the great Khan died back in Mongolia. The commanders turned back to elect a new ruler. Europe had been saved, not by its armies, not by its walls, by succession law. At its peak, the Mongol Empire covered 24 million square kilometers. It connected the Silk Road from China to Europe. Trade, ideas, and disease traveled faster than ever before in history. Some historians call it the first age of globalization. The empire collapsed within 150 years, but its legacy shaped every civilization it had ever touched: Russia, China, the Islamic world, and the Europe that almost fell. If you want to see how other empires rose and fell, subscribe. Every week, a new empire on the map.